When you see a surgeon perform a complex transplant or a lab process life-saving cells, you're seeing incredible human skill, right? But behind all of that, there's this powerful, almost invisible system. It's a carefully designed framework of quality that makes sure every single step is safe, effective, and is all about one thing: getting the best possible result for the patient. So today, let's pull back that curtain on the hidden world of medical quality.
Just let that sink in for a second. It's a scary thought, but it gets right to the heart of why any of this matters. You don't want to just hope for the best. You want to know there's a system in place designed to deliver the best. And that confidence, that feeling of trust, it doesn't just come from thin air. It's built on a solid foundation of quality.
So, what do we even mean when we say quality? It's not just some fuzzy feel-good term. The World Health Organization gives us a really specific definition. It's all about measurable results. It asks the simple question: did the care we provided actually make people healthier? This turns quality from a vague idea into a very real, concrete goal.
Now, this brings us to a really crucial difference. On one side of the coin, you've got quality assurance, or QA. Think of this as compliance, making sure you're following all the rules, checking all the boxes. But quality improvement, or QI, that's something different. It's this constant, active effort by everyone to make the system itself better. So QA is about meeting the standard, but QI is all about raising that standard.
Okay, so how in the world do you even start to measure something as huge and complicated as healthcare quality? Well, way back in 1966, a pioneer named Avedis Donabedian had this amazing breakthrough. He figured, instead of getting lost in a million tiny details, you could look at the whole system through a simple but honestly brilliant three-part lens.
And this is his blueprint. It's so elegant. First, you look at the structure. This is the who and the where of care. We're talking about stuff like how qualified the staff is and how good the facilities are. Then you look at the process. This is the what and the how, the actual steps taken to treat a patient. And finally, you get to the outcome. This is the bottom line. What was the result? We're talking survival rates, recovery, quality of life. Simple, right?
Let's make this super concrete with a stem cell transplant center. The structure? That's having experienced doctors, top-notch labs, and all the right equipment. The process? That's the nitty-gritty, the step-by-step for how a patient gets referred, how cells are tested, how the transplant actually happens. And the outcome? Well, that's measured in things that really matter: patient survival, their quality of life afterward, and keeping error rates super low. See how a simple idea can organize something so incredibly complex?
So to make that whole framework actually work, you need targets to aim for. And that is where standards come in. A standard isn't some vague wish. It's a clear, measurable benchmark. It draws a line in the sand and says, this is what good looks like. And it gives the entire team a common goal to shoot for.
And, this whole movement to standardize care didn't just pop up overnight. It started with the very first registries way back in the 70s and just grew and evolved over the decades. You had key organizations popping up in the US and Europe. It's really been this steady international effort by medical professionals to define what excellence looks like, together.
Today, these are some of the heavy hitters driving global standards in this field. Now, don't worry about memorizing all the acronyms. The big takeaway here is the role. Organizations like FACT in America and JACIE in Europe, they work hand in hand. They aren't competitors, they're collaborators, all working to create and update the international rulebook for top quality care.
All right, let's get to the most important question of all. We've got frameworks, we've got standards, committees. It can sound like a whole lot of bureaucracy. But does going through this intense process of accreditation, all the inspections, the documentation, the constant checks, does it actually make a difference for the person on the operating table?
The answer is a resounding yes, and we have the data to prove it. Studies that have looked at thousands of patients in the European Transplant Registry have shown a direct connection. As hospitals and centers go through the tough process of getting ready for and achieving accreditation, patient survival rates go up and mortality rates go down. It's proof that all that work, all those systems, they directly lead to better outcomes.
And the benefit doesn't just stop with the patient. This seal of quality creates this ripple effect of confidence through the entire healthcare system. It tells referring doctors they're sending their patients to a great place. It gives regulators and insurance companies peace of mind. It builds this whole web of trust that just makes everything work better for everyone.
But, of course, there's a flip side. There's a risk. The whole goal is to improve care, not just create more paperwork.
These standard-setting organizations have to be really careful that their rules don't get so complicated and heavy that they actually start getting in the way of innovation and patient care. It's this constant balancing act between keeping people safe and allowing for progress.
And that brings us right back to the man who started it all. Near the end of his life, Avedis Donabedian said this, and it just perfectly captures the real spirit behind all of these systems. The standards, the processes, the data, they aren't the goal. They're just the tools. The real secret to quality, the real driving force, is that fundamental human commitment to care for another person. And that's the ultimate system worth building.